It is raining, so it's probably not the best idea to do this right now outside, but I just want to quickly talk about this week's tutorial. So this week I went into the office and being home working like everyone else, and I was talking to a colleague who was, let's say, older than the social media generation, and I was explaining to him YouTube, which he already knew, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. He is on Facebook, and I was explaining how I do YouTube videos. I was showing him, and he was like, but you need to go to university for these sort of things. And I said, no, you do. I mean, I wouldn't ever knock it. I loved university. But what you can do now, because of social media, is learn bits of it at different points for 5 minutes a day, and overall you'll learn so much more. And showing him this, and he was like, yeah, but you can't do Marvel size VFX. And yes, he's completely true. You need teams and software that cost millions and millions of pounds, and that's true. But stuff like Iron Man's AR helmet can be done in under 10 minutes. And he's like, no, you can't. So then I was like, I'll prove you wrong. So this week I'm creating Iron Man's helmet, and I'm going to send him that video and see what he thinks. So on that note, let's jump into it. So for this video, you'll need two things: the video, the close-up shot of the person you want to wear the helmet, and interactive UGI, HUD, HUD, AR, whatever you call them, graphics. These graphics can be images or videos, it doesn't really matter what. So in After Effects, load the video clip. You'll notice my video has a yellow background. This isn't really ideal because we want it to be black, because you won't really have yellow in a helmet. The only reason I have this is because I downloaded the video from stock footage, so I didn't really have a choice. So to get rid of the background, I'm going to add a lumetri curve and bring in an S curve for the overall colours. Add a hue and saturate and remove the yellow, and then I added a tint just to make sure all the colour's gone from the face. Then I duplicated this layer and got rid of those effects because we really do want colour in the person's face. But we want it separate from the background layer. So draw a mask around the face to isolate it. Then right click and track mask. In the track panel, make sure the method is changed from perspective, which is the default, down to face tracking, and track it forward. Once that's tracked, duplicate the layer again, remove any information such as mask or effects, and we're going to do the same thing but for the eyes. Isolate the eyes and track it forward. Perfect. Done. If you haven't noticed, I've renamed them to background, face and eyes, so I know which one's which. Now the graphics in the helmet actually follow the person's eyes. So you can either use the track motion tracker built into After Effects, or the program that's also a standalone, which is Mocha, to track the eye. It doesn't really matter which one. However, realistically thinking about it, the tracking the eye and to get something really detailed, Mocha is probably better than anything else. So track in that. Once you have that data, bring in, right click, new null object, and paste the track data into there. The final thing I'm going to do is bring in a new solid object and make sure it's blue. Now, this is because if this was a real helmet, you would have glare coming off the screen, so light spill. And I want to show this both in front of the face and bouncing behind the face of the helmet. So I'm choosing this blue, which would be the normal graphic, which would be the graphic color. And I'm going to use a mask to isolate the face again. Then I'm going to feather out the mask to roughly 2000, so it's really feathered, and change the blend mode to add. Add a glow. You can keep the default settings what I did, but you can adjust it accordingly. Then duplicate this layer and place it behind the face, but this time change the blend mode to screen. Perfect. Once you have those, highlight all the layers minus the track and pre-comp these into one layer. Make sure move all attributes are selected and hit OK. Now we could do the fun part. Now we can start bringing in the graphics. So first thing I'm going to do is bring in my image, which is actually going to be used for, say, the altitude, as if they were flying. So bring it in, scale it up, and the first thing I need to do is flip it horizontally, because the image would be read by the person and not myself, so it would be the reverse or a mirror image to us. Then isolate the area that you want, which is this altitude scale thing on the side, wherever you call it, using a mask. Change the blend mode to add, and then add a glow. I'm going to change the intensity to 1.5 and then increase and position it into place. And then once you have those, all you need to do is repeat however many times you want for the graphics for the left or the right, or the eye, which is essential for Iron Man, and go from there. Now, one thing you notice is the graphics coming in curved to the person's face. Now, this is done by making sure that the images are actually in 3D space by clicking this button here. Then that will give you more options in the transform tab to rotate, to pivot, to curve it like I've done here, and you can even keyframe them here. Once those are in place, the final thing you need to do, or this is just for fun really, is I want the color to change to red as to alert the person that something's happening. The fact that the person's face doesn't react to this shows that you do really need to film it before you put the graphics on to make it sync in with each other, because she laughs in this, so it doesn't really work. But all you need to do is drag and drop change to color and select the from using the picker tool, and then change the to whatever color you want it to change to. Now I'm going to keyframe this. So the to and from originally will start with blue, and then go to the point that you want the blue to start changing to red and hit the keyframe. Then go a few frames forward and change the color to whatever you want. So it will change accordingly. As simple as that. And as you have it here, you don't need to redo anything. Just copy this effect and paste it into all the images there, and it works perfectly. And that's it. And that's how simple it is. Honestly, it takes about 5-10 minutes to set it up, and once you have that, it's just a copy and paste exercise. How simple is that? I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Hit the like button to let me know. If you enjoyed it, you know who I'm talking about. I hope to catch you next week, and stay inspired.